I'm gonna be sharing a definitive guide on the most powerful and productive morning routine you know. It's a liquid gold that I wish I had 2 years ago. So the first step is to wake up at 5 a.m. Only this will double your daily productivity. In the early morning, your brain is fresh and supercharged for deep productive work more than in any other time of the day. When in the evening and nighttime, your brain is usually overloaded with information. You usually feel a bunch of noise and always get distracted. It makes a huge sense to exchange a couple of your useless evening hours to the most productive in your life morning hours. So, in order to wake up at 5 a.m., you need to go to bed and wake up 15 minutes earlier than you usually do. Just set one alarm in the evening and one in the morning, and every day set them for 15 minutes earlier. Aim for 8-hour window. Once you wake up 1 hour before your previous schedule, you want to stay there for a few days just to ensure that you feel good enough to go further. Repeat that for as many days as you need to get to bed at 8 p.m. and wake up at 5 a.m. This way, from 8 hours of bedtime, you will get 7.5 hours of sleep, which is the most optimal range for most human beings. The second step is to drink a glass of water straight after waking up. After a long night, your body is dehydrated and filling it up with water will start and awake your body. It boosts your brain function, gives you a ton of energy and flushes toxins from your body. After you're done with drinking, just go and wash up a bit so you don't feel like a vegetable. The third step is out of a standard morning routine, but I want you to jump into your most important task of the day immediately after waking up, in a matter of a few minutes. And the reason we do this is because of a so-called morning flow. It's a state of consciousness that makes work feel effortless, when the brain is on its highest possible performance. It's an amazing hack that helped me to get 3 times more tasks done. Just because I started finishing 70% of my hardest and most important tasks for the day in a few hours of morning with ease. So how to access this morning flow? One of the most important things to know about flow is that it's very expensive for our brain to produce, and we need to meet a bunch of criteria such as enough energy, enough motivation, ability to focus, dopamine hits, etc. And the unspoken purpose of regular morning routine is to get all of those done and get into flow state. Meditation for focus, cold shower for dopamine, exercises for energy. So why do we skip all of those and go straight to work? Morning routine is all good, but the problem is that when you wake up, your ability to go into flow state, it's on its natural highest level. And it happens for 2 major reasons. First one is that your cognitive load is on its lowest. Think about it like a RAM in your computer. You only woke up, so you haven't loaded anything in your mind yet. So you can have your full attention and focus on whatever you want. And the second reason is because as soon as you wake up, your brain is already close to flow. Your brain waves of sleep, theta and delta, aren't far from the brain waves of flow. So it makes it easier to slide out of your brain and get straight into a flow state. And to make the most out of your flow state, you need to have from 1 to 3 hours of deep work. After my morning session, I started feeling a bit groggy and tired, and I realized why so many productive titans who work all day long burn out. It's because they skip the most important part of the flow. As I said, producing flow is expensive, and it doesn't work like a switch. It's a cycle that activates it, and the most important part of the cycle is recovery. You spend a lot of energy on it, and that's where all of those morning procedures with dopamine and focus come in. So when you're done working on your most important task for however much time you have, the step 4 comes in, which this is 3. The step 4 comes in, which starts a recovery phase of your morning routine. Starting off with first feature, which is getting focused with meditation. After a deep and hopefully focused work, your brain needs to calm down. It needs to change the focus from work to rest. And ironically, the best way to do this is to change your focus for something else. Focus on your breathing or focus on nothing, as I call it. Meditation develops your ability to be mindful, to be present in the moment as much as possible. At the end of the day, feeling deep inner pleasure in a present moment is the most enjoyable thing for me in this world. There are tons of ways to meditate, but when I refer to meditation, I usually imagine something like sitting in my bed, deeply breathing, inhaling, exhaling, and moving clockwise. I focus on my movement and focus on a gravity force that acts on me, and my mind is fully clear. I recently discovered this from my hike on waterfall. Whenever I'm moving, I am focused. However, I'm into meditation for 2 years now, and I do recommend you to start with something more general like deep breathing. And over time, slowly try implementing and experimenting on something new. In this way, you will grow your skills much faster than if you were going to start meditating with experiments and quit in 2 days. And the fifth step is also going to be a game changer. Have you ever felt tired lying on your bed and chilling? Maybe you watched something for a few hours, maybe you woke up at 11. You don't feel that motivated and energized, are you? The general rule of energy in life states that the energy is allocated for a specific action. And the best way to get a lot of energy quickly is to move your body. Humans are wired to move their body in order to survive. At least to find some food, some water, and a partner. In the modern world, we have food, water, online dating apps like Tinder and porn just in a matter of a few minutes. We don't need to move that much anymore. And our brain agrees. It says, well, if you don't need to move, I don't need to produce energy. Let's store fat, feeling sleepy all day, and enjoy effortless existence. I call this life miserable and average, because people in this state aren't able to produce any good results. Their life is just meaningless. If you want to avoid this, move your body. The easiest way in my opinion is just stretching. Maybe light exercising and a bit of it like jogging or walking. It takes like 15 minutes, but it makes you feel fantastic. You're energized, you're motivated, ready to live and move mountains. It is a definition of a man with purpose. I do 5 Tibetan rides and some stretching for calisthenics improvements. You can search it on YouTube and you'll find tons about it. It's dynamic and kind of fun compared to other stretches out there. And it also has an enormous amount of benefits such as increased energy during the day, improved flexibility, mobility, whatever the difference are basically, and better brain function. So there are tons of them. Going to the gym in the morning might also be a good option, but I think it's a bit time consuming and I also prefer to go there at noon because like my brain functioning is the best in the morning. So I just prefer to do the hard work first. Another important part is, as Andrew Huberman says, that if he had to pick just one activity for his morning routine, it would be to get natural sunlight in your eyes for 5-10 minutes, because it drastically increases your energy level, sleep quality and mood. And at the end of the day, sleep is just like a sort of our life. So it's crucial for you while exercising, stretching or running to take some light in your eyes. If you can get it in like 3 hours after waking up, Andrew Huberman says that you're good. The sixth step is to take a shower, but it's cold. I know it sounds bad, but trust me, this might become your most enjoyable part of a morning routine. So the benefits of taking cold shower. The first is increased mood for a long time. So when I started, I immediately felt it. It was just an enlightenment for a few hours that you feel fantastic. It also drastically increases your energy. It's something that is hard to explain, but you can do more in less time and feel more motivated and happy. It's amazing. It increases your dopamine level and you become more of a mentally strong person. And probably the most powerful one is that you become immune to most diseases. Several times a year I would experience a cold that occurred. But I started taking cold showers over 9 months ago and I haven't been sick since. You don't have to go for the coldest shower right away. You can start with warm or a little bit lower than warm water. It should be enough for a few days. You can also use contrast shower. I find it like a bit less of a challenge and it slows my progress down, so I don't recommend it and I don't use it. You will want to flee badly after a few times, but if you stay on the decision and continue, it will go away and you will enjoy all the benefits. The next part of showering is my skincare routine, and ultimately you want to go with water products first and then with more creamy ones. For my morning, I start with the plain purifying water, then I use my toner, after which goes the heaviest part like moisturizer and lip balm. And that's basically it for the morning part, and in the evening part I apply some water and purifying water. Don't see a point to talk too much about it. Great for my skin to look pretty and hopefully evade a lot of acne that could happen. Seventh step is to eat your breakfast, and a lot of people say that it is the most important meal of the day, which turns out with just like a few seconds of googling it to be just the same, as it is not scientifically backed. But anyway, I find eating breakfast incredibly useful for me in the second part of the day. There are lots of breakfast variations, but I personally like oatmeal with fruits, classic. With the right mix, it can taste fantastic and give you up to 900 calories per meal, which is just a miracle for me on a bulk. If you want something lower in calories, do omelette with fried vegetables. Chop some onion, pepper and carrots, And as I do it, you can use just some frozen beans and corn. Roast them for 5-10 minutes and then just add a few eggs mixed with the cheese on top. 200 to 300 calories, very healthy and tasty. For a long time during breakfast I was watching just YouTube, and mostly not educational. Now that my day became more productive, I decided to switch to something more useful. And soon enough, from watching just educational videos, I discovered a world of podcasts. And it was a game changer for me. Diary of a CEO, Deep Dive with Ali, Andrew Huberman Lab, New Hansa. Each of them changed the way I see my life and live it and act upon it in some or another way. There are so much more smart people in the world than I thought, and they're just seeking your view in a podcast to share their knowledge through decades of experiments and researches. They're for everyone who desires high quality education. And obviously I'm not saying about homeschool. I'm saying about practical life stuff. In a matter of a few months that I discovered podcasts, it was my best and most quality content I've ever consumed. There are so much insights that solved a lot of my problems now. And so much more information that I will need in my life at some point. It's the ultimate guide, so I feel an urge to say a few words about coffee. I don't drink it because I don't really have enough information now, nor the desire to learn it. For me, it always was a controversial topic. On the one hand, you have a drug that captures the whole world. On the other side, it's a tool to properly boost your energy levels if managed properly. Somewhere in the middle is health. I think I will do some researches on that and surely will post it on YouTube. But for now, that's my opinion. A few words about supplements, huh? So about supplements, I think they are good for health, but they might be quite costly. And good quality on a monthly basis, I assume nor you nor I don't have money for that now. Maybe in the uni, but it's kind of a mess now. Step 8 is to sit and read. It's an amazing source of knowledge, but for me, reading is by far the most problematic feature of self-improvement. Even after a few years of self-improvement, I still struggle with it. I can't just sit and read for a few hours when I have something more stimulated and something more interesting to do. Usually it's most important, but if I said reading and I know that I want to read at this time and I don't read, it's a problem. But 2 years well done for nothing, huh? I found my way out of this loophole. I started reading before I sleep, so the last thing I see is a book. And it also does depend on what kind of book you have, because if it's high quality self-improvement, you will be just swarmed by all the useful information and never sleep. So I picked like a book about immune system, or a book about storytelling, something more like school. Now that you've finished your recovery phase, this is time to plan your calendar. I can't overemphasize how important it is to manage your time with digital calendar. If I had to pick just one feature of self-improvement to keep, it would be my Google Calendar. It's no-brainer. It's just increasing my productivity for 300%. It's so high yield. So on this stage, you need to plan your entire day to gain a clear vision of what you will accomplish. And you will accomplish because you planned it. Now that you already worked hard, got recovery, and educated yourself a bit more, you can go for the second cycle of focus. This might be school, self-improvement, your work, whatever you have. I also want to give the most important advices for me how you can build this morning routine. And it is to take your time and build it slowly, one activity at a time. I built this one in half a year after 2 previous failed attempts when I had to reset absolutely everything because I just went too fast. So hold your horses and stick to a few activities for a month. But without a proper calendar, this routine would be much harder. So if you want to know how you can create a new Google Calendar just in a matter of 5-10 minutes and change your life and change your efficiency rate to 3x, you can change this video over here. If this ultimate guide was useful for you and you picked up a few thoughts, please subscribe and like this video. It means a world to me. See ya!